Plastic Valley is beautiful, but something is missing. The great villa stands tall, yet the ground is nothing but cold, gray base plates. Grog stands with his hands on his hips, looking at the barren land. He wants a garden, but he doesn't know where to start. Lila steps out from the main door, holding a garden blueprint on a small tile. She points out exactly where the flowers should go. Grog takes a handful of brown, round studs, the seeds, and tries to scatter them. They fall everywhere, messy and unaligned. He kneels down to press a single stud onto the ground, but his fingers are just too big for the tiny bricks. Rexy approaches, wanting to help by leveling the ground with his snout, but his strength only leaves a giant scratch on the plastic floor. Grog covers his head, waving Rexy away as the plastic dust makes him sneeze. Suddenly, a bright orange blur streaks across the screen, blowing Lila's blueprint right out of her hand. The blur zigs and zags around the courtyard before screeching to a halt on the plastic grass. Seed, the Oviraptor, has arrived. He's a vibrant orange with mischievous yellow feathers on his head. Seed looks at Grog, then stares at the messy pile of studs on the ground with pure annoyance. In a flash, he uses his claws to gather every single stud in 2 seconds, stacking them into a perfect tower. Grog and Lila stare in absolute shock at the dinosaur's incredible dexterity. Lila hands the blueprint to Seed. He takes it, squinting at the design like a master engineer. He pats his leather hip pouch, signaling that he's ready for the mission. Grog pours the entire supply of brown and green studs into Seed's pouch. Seed performs a quick warm-up, twisting his wrists and bouncing on his toes. And he's off. The camera slows down as Seed's legs hit top speed. Seed sprints along the edge of the villa wall, his left hand pulling seeds while his right hand plants them. A rapid click, click, click echoes as fast as his footsteps. Every leap Seed takes plants a stud perfectly onto the center of a base plate stud. Rexy watches him go, his eyes spinning in circles, trying to keep up with the Oviraptor's speed. Seed runs up a high ledge, scattering seeds downward like a professional sewing machine. He performs a mid-air flip, planting 4 studs into the 4 corners of a flower bed simultaneously. Grog gives a big thumbs up. "Faster, Seed! Faster!" Seed doubles his speed, creating an orange cyclone around the villa. Close-up on Seed's hands. His fingers grab bricks so fast, he seems to have dozens of arms. Brown studs for stems, green studs for grass. Everything is sorted perfectly. Seed finishes his final lap, stopping exactly where he started and dusting off his hands with pride. The entire courtyard is now covered in thousands of perfectly aligned studs. Grog takes out his small plastic hammer, ready to activate the garden. Rexy finds it fascinating and leans his giant face down to see the tiny seeds on the ground. A stray bit of plastic dust floats into Rexy's nose. His face begins to twitch. Grog realizes the danger and screams, "Rexy, don't! Achoo!" An earth-shaking sneeze erupts from the T-Rex. The blast sends Grog and Lila tumbling. Seed has to dig his claws into the floor to stay grounded. Terrible news. Half of the seeds are blown right off their studs, flying into the air. Rexy covers his mouth, looking utterly guilty as he watches the seeds rain down. Seed jumps up in a rage, hopping onto Rexy's nose and tapping the T-Rex's forehead. Clack, clack. Seed orders Rexy to stand still and act as a windbreak while he fixes the mess. This time, Seed doesn't just run. He wall jumps to catch the studs while they are still in midair. He catches them in flight and plants them the moment he hits the ground. A breathtaking acrobatic display. Grog and Lila help by sweeping the stray bricks back to Seed. In the blink of an eye, Seed has restored the garden, and it looks even better than before. He stands before Rexy, putting a finger to his lips. Shh. Rexy nods frantically, holding his breath so he doesn't make another sound. Grog approaches the very first seed. Everyone holds their breath and watches. Grog raises his hammer high, taking aim. Tap. The hammer strikes the brown stud gently. The stud wobbles, and suddenly, a green sprout, a leaf piece, bursts out from the center. Grog taps it a second time, and a red flower bud appears on top of the sprout. He taps it a third time, and the petals bloom wide. A perfect Lego flower! Seed is thrilled. He starts running ahead, pointing out the targets. Tap here, tap here! Grog starts running after Seed, hammering rhythmically. Tap, 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 tap. With every step they take, waves of colorful flowers burst into bloom behind them. Dull studs transform into roses, tulips, and daisies, all shiny and new. Lila follows with the watering can, pouring trans blue studs to make them shimmer. The entire front of the villa is now a magnificent floral carpet. Rexy sees how beautiful the flowers are. He wants to smell them, but remembers the sneeze and pulls back. Seed takes a small yellow flower and attaches it to Grog's construction hat. Grog smiles, thanks Seed, and offers him a premium bowl of plastic seed bricks. Seed munches on the bricks happily, his feet tapping to the rhythm of the valley. Lila hangs Lego flower baskets onto the windowsills of the house. A swarm of plastic butterflies, winged one-by-one pieces, fly down to land on Seed's flowers. Rexy watches the butterflies, gently wagging his tail to create a cool breeze for the garden. Grog puts up a wooden sign that reads, Seed's Garden. The flycam soars high. The once gray villa now sits in a lush, vibrant oasis. Other dinosaurs like Stomp and Manny pass by, stopping to admire the garden in awe. Seed isn't done yet. He starts building a Lego bench under a plastic tree for Grog to rest. The sunset reflects off the plastic petals, creating shimmering glints of light. Grog sits on the bench. Lila stands by his side, and Rexy curls up to protect the garden. Seed hops onto Rexy's shoulder, using one last seed to flick it into a distant rock crevice. The brick lands perfectly, and a tiny, lonely flower blooms, the final touch to the masterpiece. The entire plastic valley feels more alive thanks to the master gardener's touch. Grog looks up at the stars, which sparkle just like trans-clear studs in the sky. Seed falls asleep on Rexy's head, still clutching his empty seed pouch. Lila packs away the instruction manuals as the day comes to an end. The elder brick walks past the garden, nodding. Skill turns small things into greatness. A streak of light crosses the screen. It's Seed, dreaming of a seed planting race in the clouds. The words, "The End," appear, made of the most colorful Lego flowers. Rexy opens his mouth wide to yawn, but remembers the flowers and quickly covers his mouth. In his sleep, Seed's hands move as if he's still planting, accidentally kicking Rexy's nose. One final Lego petal falls right onto the camera lens, fading the frame out.